Good morning, and thanks for joining us on the Morning Grind. I'm Chelsea Frisbee.
And I'm Kara Vormwald. Sadly, this morning, we do not have our wonderful coffee talk guru, Aiden Meehan. He's actually headed home for Easter weekend.
We miss you. Have fun downstate.
Yes.
So because Aiden isn't here, Kara and I have some great top trending stories to share with you. So Kara, why don't you go first? What do you have?
I would love to. Okay, so actually a weatherman in Minnesota discovered a coat hanger in his jacket on the air, and we have the video actually right now. So Steve Frazier is the local weatherman there, and he is standing at the desk talking to the two anchors where he stops mid-sentence, pulls out the coat hanger.
I love this video.
Right there. He just throws it right on the news desk. And then everybody just bursts into laughter. Afterwards, he actually tried doing his weather report, but he stops and explains why there was a coat hanger in the first place in his jacket. And so
that's kind of a hard thing to not
right. And I
notice.
think he was embarrassed, and he's like, I need to explain to the viewers why I can't do my newscast or do my weathercast actually. So he said he went to the gym today and the suit was fitting tight, but he couldn't figure out why. So he said he must have put it on too quick.
I just think it's so funny that we see kind of small market, but news stations and professionals that we want to be someday making such silly mistakes like that.
Right.
But I guess, news is a little serious, so sometimes you want to break it up a little bit, have a little fun.
Yes.
And you kind of have a good relationship
Absolutely.
with your anchors and stuff like that. So I guess they just want to have a little bit of fun. But I'm just saying, if I did anything like that in Professor Ricky's broadcast performance class, I would have failed.
Right. And I don't know why he couldn't have waited. I mean, it must have been that uncomfortable that he couldn't have waited any longer to actually do it live on air, to actually pull it out and throw it on the desk.
I think it must have been a moment of, I just figured out why my suit doesn't fit, and just automatically pulled it out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yes.
So, April Fool's Day saw a lot of good pranks, but this one is making national news. Hayley McBay of Ireland tried to prank her boyfriend by texting him, "I don't want to be with you anymore," and then, "I'm not happy." He responded, "Thank God you said it first," which obviously caused a bit of panic. As it turns out, he was kidding as well, because he kind of figured it out that it was an April Fool's Day prank, and all is good with the teen couple, but not before the screenshots of the conversation went viral. I think that's so funny.
I think it's a really good April Fool's prank, actually. I probably would have just started crying. I wouldn't think that he was joking. I would have been like, oh my gosh, did I just
initiate a breakup? What if
he
wasn't kidding? Exactly. What if he wasn't kidding?
That would be so bad.
Have you played any April Fool's Day pranks?
I have. I actually played one on Kat. She wanted a banana from the dining halls and Nutella. Can't forget her Nutella. So we were coming back, and I was like, "Ooh, I haven't gotten any for April Fool's Day." So I hid the banana, I hid the Nutella, and I walk in. And as soon as I walk in, she goes, "Do you have my banana and Nutella?" And I just go, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I forgot." She's like, "Oh." And so I was like, "Just kidding," and I pulled it out, and she almost cried.
That's such a Kara thing to do. That's so sweet and innocent. That's so cute. But
thank you.
I remember a couple of years ago, while I was still in high school, I woke up really early and I put plastic wrap. I Googled this. I put plastic wrap over all of my family's shampoo and conditioner bottles, so that way nothing would come out.
That's really smart.
And then my siblings really like cereal, so I took all the bags of cereal and I put it in different boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that way they would pour out their Fruit Loops and oh my gosh, it's Cocoa Puffs.
I never play good April Fools. I think because I just forget it's April Fools. So
I saw something a couple days ago that was the #1 April Fool's Day prank is telling people that you're pregnant. That's not funny. That is not. Don't do that.
That's not funny.
And besides, honestly, I feel if you did it, it's a good amount of we already know that you're kidding.
Right.
It's April Fool's Day.
Right. So now we're gonna change gears a little bit. It's around the time of year where people are hearing back from colleges that they applied to. And so Duke University, they just sent out their rejection letters, and this got a lot of buzz on Twitter, and people were tweeting things such as, "I just got the sweetest, most sincere rejection letter from Duke," and another was saying, "Didn't get into Duke, but that's okay, hung the rejection letter over my bed, #motivation." But Siobhan Odell actually decided to write Duke a rejection letter back after she was rejected, and she says, "Dear Duke University admissions, Thank you for your rejection letter of March 26, 2015. After careful consideration, I regret to inform you that I am unable to accept your refusal to offer me admissions into the fall 2015 freshman class at Duke. So she basically just mocks the letter the rest of the way, saying, this year I have been fortunate enough to receive rejection letters from the best and brightest universities in the country.
Aww.
With a pool of letters so diverse and accomplished, I was unable to accept letters I would have been able to only several years ago. And then she said, despite Duke's outstanding success in rejecting previous applicants, you simply did not meet my qualifications.
That's really sweet. And good for her that she has that good of a sense of humor. And, you know,
Right.
even though she got rejected, the girl's applying to Duke. Good for her.
Right,
And
Duke,
she's got a
awesome.
sense of humor. I think that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So you can follow us on Twitter at @TheGrindWTOP if you would like to join in on the conversation and give your opinion on these topics.
And coming up next, we will decorate some eggs for Easter with Ariel Shunk and maybe even a little friendly competition
I'm
to
gonna
put our
beat ya.
decorating skills to the test. We'll see. Stay tuned. You're watching The Morning Grind.
You're going to hell. I'm already in hell. This whole studio is going to hell.
TLP.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning. 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash? 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Welcome back to The Morning Grind. Joining us now is Ariel Shunk, who is filling in for our how-to girl, Kaylee Hudson. Thank you so much for filling in, by
Yes,
the way.
absolutely. I'm really excited.
Yes, good. So because it's Easter weekend is coming up, she's going to show us how to decorate some eggs and
Very
with different
exciting.
things that you can find in your room, so various things. So let's get started. What
Okay.
do you have for us?
So before we get started, I'm giving you both an egg. Do you guys have your eggs?
Yes, we
yes,
do.
we have our eggs.
And I would like each of you to decorate an egg to look like one another.
Okay.
You'll have the
peeking.
whole segment to
Okay.
decorate it.
Okay.
And then at the end, I'll judge which one looks the best.
All right.
Okay.
I
Okay.
promise I'll be listening to you, but I need to really concentrate.
Okay. So we have a lot of
So we're using
household
makeup.
items.
I
First-
think that's so cool.
Okay.
Okay.
None of these colors look
it's
like your
key
hair.
because you guys have to have certain things around the house. You have to have cotton swabs, paper
Okay.
towels, glue, Sharpies, makeup. Personally, I would start out with a little bit of makeup because
Okay.
I found while I was doing this, I have a couple of test eggs, and I'll show them as I describe it. The makeup actually worked the best. And
It is. It actually works
specifically
really good.
the
if you can
eyeliner.
see it.
Excuse my reach.
Sure. Go ahead.
We have a couple of just like the Glide On eyeliners. If you want a particular brand, this
Ooh.
one is Urban Decay.
Okay.
Urban
Let's see
Decay.
that. I want to use that.
Yeah,
for
use
Chelsea's
this. It works
eyebrows.
really good.
But
And
Okay.
My eyebrows aren't black.
I found while
I
I,
know,
was
but-
making these that one's definitely the easiest. Puffy paint was a little bit tricky.
it gets
We'll
like
start out
all
with
over
that
a
one.
little bit, right?
Yeah, the puffy paint's a little bit smeary, but if you maybe zoom in on this a little bit, it's kind of like difficult to write with. But when you use the puffy paint, I found that you have to blow dry it right when it's done, so then it'll dry
blow
super.
dry it.
Blow drying.
Okay.
Typically, I would say blow dry it on low for like a minute or so, and then if it's still not dry, it depends on like the thickness. But if it's still not dry, just keep going because this is perfectly fine. I literally did this a half hour ago. It was great, and it turned out nice.
Awesome. I mean,
So-
now you can use other things like yarn and stuff for like hair because
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking of when I'm looking at Chelsea. Wow, you're going all out with
Yes,
this.
we
I'm
were.
gonna lose.
I'm
very
determined to
limited
win.
with our
I am
resources.
very competitive
We're
when it
very
comes to
limited with our
decorating.
resources.
Yeah, but I feel like
But-
you tried this last night.
No, I didn't. I didn't cheat.
Lies. Anyways. Okay.
In addition, you can also use things like makeup sponges or cotton swabs just to smear things around. One thing that I would recommend for hair specifically, if you want to get a little bit funky, grab some of this glue and
This glue?
yes, get like Elmer's glue.
Wait,
a
what
glue
color
stick.
are your eyes? I so messed up. Oh no.
Dude, Chelsea, I thought
So
the same
you
thing,
get
but
a
I didn't
glue
say
stick.
anything.
Oh,
I didn't
no!
know you were
And
friends.
No
get
one
some of
look.
the glitter makeup.
I made it look so bad with
And
blue eyes now.
It's good for like hair, anything. This one right here.
I can't believe you forgot
What is the
color
best
it is.
possible example if you zoom in a little bit? My sweet mate made this one and she used all of the glitter makeup and it dried super quick
This is a
and
mess.
it turned out nice.
Wow,
Isn't this one
that
pretty?
actually looks really cool.
Isn't that
Wow.
pretty?
Can we zoom in on
Yeah,
this?
they got it.
Right
It
here?
was really pretty. And
But yeah.
as another example, you can also use stickers. Now, the stickers are a little bit hit and miss. Before you use the stickers, I would actually recommend, again, putting glue because they're going to come right off after you put
Right.
the finish on, which, that's spoiler alert, you have to finish it with hairspray,
Hairspray.
because it just seals it in and
Yeah,
it might
especially
be
for the makeup
smeary.
eggs. You definitely need a little bit of you definitely need to finish it off with hairspray.
Right. Oh my gosh.
And make
I'm
sure you're like
sorry.
absolutely done with
Yes.
your makeup egg before you do the hairspray because then you
Because-
wind up smudging it and
Yes,
it doesn't
you
look
do.
as good.
Chelsea's, I just peeked at Chelsea's and hers is so much better than mine. And I'm embarrassed.
I'm an
Chelsea's
artiste.
totally
What can I
practicing.
say? I'm an
yeah, but I
artiste.
feel like you had.
I've
time
been
to-
doing
to
this
do
for
this.
a really long time. I mean, I did get your eye color wrong, and you're not supposed to be peeking at mine, you cheater.
I'm sorry.
Maybe I
had
should have
to.
been in the middle so you guys
You
couldn't
should
see
have.
what was going on.
Exactly.
Right,
A little
right.
bit of flaws in the system.
need
But
this.
another thing, the best part about this is even if your eggs are cracked, you can still decorate them. You want to know why, Kara?
I would
Chelsea?
I would love to know
Because
why.
you can get really crafty and take a Sharpie and just fill in where it cracked, and then you got a sweet
So
cracked
then-
egg.
All right, I am being
Look
told
at
that
it.
it is time to. What did you do to me?
Okay, I need to I need to see them. Let's see.
Okay,
Oh God.
this is Kara as an egg. Look how cute. It's blonde, and then I put brown over her eyes.
Because
Describe
she
your
thought they were
artistic
blue.
process.
Because as if I didn't think that I would be prettier with blue eyes, Chelsea. Thanks
Because
a
we
lot.
call you Barbie. I'm sorry.
I know.
So who wins?
Oh, ooh, it's pretty close. Actually, Chelsea, I'm gonna have to go with yours.
You want to know why
Yes.
she won though? Is
Thank
because
you,
she cheated.
Ariel. Up next, we will be joined by Sports Bruh Dan I to explain what March Madness is and what are brackets. You're watching The Morning Grind.
You know, since Sebastian graduated, he switched from sports over to sports entertainment.
All right, Dan. Tonight I'm thinking college football in the.
Hey guys,
Whoa!
Steve Hess.
Woo! How did you do that?
Something I've been working on in my downtime, you know. Jackson's here too. What's up, guys?
How did you get here?
I drove.
Carpooling. Think about it. Not again.
Hi, Dan.
In all seriousness, we're throwing seriousness out the window. We're going to toss out everything you came to know and love about Benny Blue's show. This is not your mother's local access late night college talk show. This is Tonight in Oswego with Corrigan Jones. Good night, Oswego.
The Hollywood View is back with a brand new season and a brand new look. Join me for non-stop Hollywood coverage news right here on WTOP 10 every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey, Dobro, you ever figure out how to fix this camera?
Did I figure it out? I'm an engineer. Of course I fixed it.
That's so weird. I asked everyone. No one knew how to fix it.
That's because they don't know my secrets. I know you have a hard job. A lot of people use you, and a lot of people abuse you. But you got this. You're gonna pull through. We're gonna do this together. You're gonna work for me. You're gonna work for us.
Welcome back to the Morning Grind, and we are joined by WTOP's Vice President of Production and former sports director, but also an avid sports fan, Dan I.
So, thanks for joining us, Dan. And we've been bugging Dan about doing this with us for like such a long time. Like, not even just on the show, just like, hey, can you like sit down? It's no secret. Kara and I are not into sports. Myself, probably
more than me.
The most of us.
Yes.
I was a theater nerd for 10 years, all right? Like, basically, it was like the Sharks and the Jets. Another theater reference.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
So, can you explain to us what is March Madness? And
Sure.
what the heck is a bracket?
Sure. March Madness, in general, is the atmosphere surrounding the Division I college basketball tournament, which is the 68.
So it's just college.
Just college basketball
Right.
at the Division
Right.
I level.
I knew that.
I did know that.
68 of the best teams in college basketball, all over the country, play. And the best part about it is, it doesn't matter if you were the best team or the worst team to get in. Once you're in, everyone's 0-0. If
Okay.
you win, you move on. If you lose, you go home.
That's easy. That's the easy part. You understand that, right?
Well, yeah.
So the idea with the bracket is the best teams get matched up against the worst teams in the bracket itself. And the idea is that if you're the best team, you have favorable matchups going all the way to the finals. And you go from 68, there's the first couple games, and then you go 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, and then eventually you have a national champion.
So Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4.
Right. And it's broken down.
But why
in
do
the
they
first
put
couple
the
days.
okay? So wait a minute. Why do they
All right.
why do they put the best and the worst teams together? Isn't
So
just
it's
then
fair.
the best team gonna win instantly?
In most cases, yes.
Why don't they
in
put
some
two bad
cases.
teams with each other?
Well, they do in the first. It's really confusing for the first four. The first four is an awful, awful thing. But there's these first four games to get into the actual tournament that they do. Then what they do is it's meant to favor the best teams. Obviously, if you've worked that hard and been the best team all year, you should have favorable matchups in the tournament.
Okay.
But once you're there, you match up 1 against a 16 seed in each of the 4 regions.
And that's what these numbers on the sides here mean.
Yes.
So number 1 Kentucky, number 16
Right.
Hampton. Okay.
And so far, a 16 seed has never lost to a number 1 seed. But 2 seeds, as in teams number 5 through 8 in all of the country, have lost as recently as last year.
Okay, so I got a D in math in the real world, right?
This is like the
Yeah.
Inception movie.
This is where broadcasting majors manage to get their
Right.
fill of math.
So-
This is where the math comes
Now,
in.
Yes.
I want to know, I've been hearing people say, this is an upset. It's been an upset. And do they really mean it's like upsetting? Or what is an upset in the basketball world?
An upset is when you have a lower seed beat a higher seed. And
Okay.
the bigger
Okay.
the difference between the two, the bigger of an upset it is.
Okay.
If you have an 8 seed and a 9 seed playing against each other, it's not that big. But in this case, when you look at this year's tournament, you had 14 seed, University of Alabama at Birmingham, beat number 3 seed Iowa State.
So that was
So
an
that's
upset.
a very big upset.
Okay. Now,
explain a little bit about your bracket.
All right.
how did this take you?
My bracket this year, for the first time ever, I did a bracket without getting into any competitions, without getting any groups. And if you look at the top half there, I pretty much went right as you would expect with the top teams all the way down.
Okay.
Kentucky on the left-hand side, they are still undefeated on the year. They are 38-0, and they haven't lost. And they come right down. Unfortunately, I was supposed to have them lose their last game. I was wrong. On the
Can
other,
I ask you,
sure.
how do you do your picks though? Like, what makes you?
Absolutely nothing.
Is it just
It is absolutely based on, you can look at all the statistics, but when it comes down to it, you throw it out the window, and my younger sister picks teams based off of which mascot she likes better.
That's what I
You
think.
can
Okay,
pick
I
based
told-
off of team colors, and most of the time, it really doesn't make a difference because it all gets thrown right out the window on the first couple days of the tournament.
That's
My dad does a football poll or bracket every
Mhm.
year for like right before the Super Bowl, and he does terribly. He's like notoriously bad at it, but he tries so hard every
Mhm.
year.
And it's-
I did the
it's
picks
bad.
for him because I just did like the mascot. So I did like, okay, if an actual Seahawk fought a giant, and I actually wound up doing better for his picks than he did just because of statistics and math and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what you usually end up with. This year, not competing in anything, didn't compete against any of my friends. This is the best bracket I've ever made.
So
you
you're
actually
mad
did
'cause you
it
could've,
for
like-
fun.
I did
kind
it for
of.
fun this year, just to see how I do. Didn't compete against anyone, and I'm in the 97th percentile
So
of
now
the
you
whole
could've
country
won
out of 11 million brackets.
You could have won money because
Yes.
of this.
Wasn't
Probably.
there a couple of years ago? I feel like I remember hearing, or maybe it was even last year, that like Warren Buffett or some he was, what was it? He was offering like $1 billion.
$1 billion if anybody got a perfect bracket. Now the funny thing about that is the perfect brackets this year,
Mhm.
there were none left after the second day of the tournament.
Wow.
In the first day, there were only, I
Wow.
believe, 8,000 out of 11 million correct.
Math, guys. Wow, I should have stuck with it. All right, so now we have something to show you.
Yes, we
All
have
right.
something really fun. We have already given it to you, but you don't know some of the guys that are on there. So we've gone through your March Madness bracket, and Chelsea and I actually have the
Something
hot
much
guy-
more interesting to
Yes.
me. BuzzFeed is having this hot guy bracket, and it's down to the Elite Eight. We already filled ours out.
Yes, we
so I don't know the words for it. I was listening, I promise.
Your bracket. Your
My
tier.
bracket, my tier has Pratt and Hemsworth, and then the winner's going to be Pratt, and then the guy from 50 Shades, Jamie Dornan, for Ryan Gosling. And then, so what wound up happening is I have Pratt and Gosling versus each other, and that's like, asking, do you like, that's really hard. This is the worst bracket.
It is really hard.
I picked Pratt just because he's from my favorite show in the world, and that's Parks and Rec.
Okay, so I picked Scott Eastwood, which is Clint Eastwood's son, and he's in a new movie that's coming out,
God
another
bless.
Nicholas Sparks kind of thing, versus Chris Hemsworth. I have Chris Hemsworth winning that, and then I have Zac Efron, Ryan Gosling, and I picked Zac Efron, even though I love Ryan Gosling, and then I have Chris Hemsworth winning it all because he's just a man, and he's like lumberjack, and I like that.
Yeah, no, it was hard picking Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pratt. That was...
So for Dan, we're
Okay.
gonna bring up the two guys. So
Good, because
Scott,
I'm very unfamiliar with
right,
some of these.
Scott Eastwood and Chris Pratt. Can we bring those guys up, please?
So Scott Eastwood, you said, is the son of Clint Eastwood, who's really
Right.
cool.
Right, and then
Who's
you know
really
Chris Pratt.
cool.
Chris Pratt is actually from Guardians of the Galaxy,
Okay.
and also The Office, correct?
No, Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. I don't
Okay.
watch those shows. I'm sorry.
He is such proof that you can be chubby and hot. I mean,
So
hello.
here they are.
Oh my
right
God,
here.
look at him.
Out of the two, who do you pick?
As a person who cannot grow facial hair myself, I'm jealous of anyone that does, so
Oh.
Chris Pratt's going to lose. I'm
Okay.
going with Scott Eastwood.
So we'll
Out
do
of
Scott
Chelsea.
Eastwood.
Wow.
All right.
Sorry,
so,
Chelsea, your champion's already out on my bracket.
And the next one is Theo James, and he's from the movie Divergent. And then Chris Hemsworth, who is obviously Thor. Yes.
Can't go against Thor. Plus, I'm mad at Theo James. In the Sweet 16, he beat David Beckham, so I'm taking Hemsworth.
Okay, so
What does that
Hemsworth
mean?
there.
He beat David Beckham. David Beckham's soccer, isn't he?
Right, but
Yes.
when in the bracket, if you go back to the
Oh.
Sweet 16,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know
David
Not
Beckham.
the actual March Madness bracket.
Right.
All right,
didn't know
so
David
next,
Beckham was
Jamie
in-
Jordan, who
Okay.
is from the 50 Shades of Grey. He plays Christian Grey.
Why is Ben Affleck on this?
I don't know, but
That's,
he
that's
doesn't
the first
matter.
round.
That's the
Sometimes
first
you got to
round.
ask, why
He
are
doesn't
some of
I
these
was
teams
thinking
in there?
Ben Stiller in my head.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's a big difference.
And then Zac Efron. So obviously, High School Musical. He's from High School Musical.
I have not seen 50 Shades. I have seen High School Musical. Efron moves on.
Okay, Zac Efron. Next,
He looks like a
Matt
girl.
Bomer and Ryan Gosling. Matt Bomer is the one from White Collar, and then Ryan Gosling, The Notebook. Hello.
To say, how could you forget Ryan
How could
Gosling?
you forget?
Once again, now you got two good-looking guys with facial hair. I am more of a fan of Bomber's hair. When you look at that, he's just got incredible flow. You got to go with that. So I'm
All
taking
right.
Bomber.
So Efron versus Bomer.
Bomer.
Which one?
I'm still sticking with Zac Efron. I
right.
loved him in Neighbors too.
Really?
Awesome. Me too. I mean, he's just got that.
No, he looks like I've always. I
He's
never
also
thought he
young
was-
like us.
Yeah, exactly. We grew up watching him on High School Musical.
I never watched.
We've
High
bopped
School
all the way to
Musical.
the top with him. All right.
Oh my!
All right.
Get out! I want him off
Love
the show.
it. Okay, Scott and Hemsworth. Which one?
I'm a big superhero movie fan. And he's not Chris Evans, he's not Captain America, but I will stick with Thor and Chris Hemsworth here.
All right.
So we have Hemsworth and
Efron.
Those are so
head to head
different, though.
That
like I feel like
it's two very contrasting
we
styles.
picked the same bracket.
Efron is a
yes.
kind of prettier type
Efron's
of
pretty.
dude, and
Hemsworth's
Hemsworth is
mad.
like, yeah, he's
Right.
like
I am mad.
That's the difference between these two. Zac Efron is a boy compared to Chris Hemsworth, who is a man. He can wield a hammer. Chris Hemsworth
But
is
in
my
terms of
hot guy
hot-
of March Madness.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hotness.
He can also rock a ponytail and long
So
hair
which
if he has
one
to.
comes down to it?
I take Chris Hemsworth.
Yes.
Honestly, it was between Hemsworth and Pratt for me. So
I'm just putting this
happy.
out there. Can we make, somebody needs to make something about a lumberjack and have Chris Hemsworth start. I just want to see him with plaid and a big beard.
I love you
This
so
is why
much.
we're friends.
This is why. Thank you so much for explaining sports. I'm going to
No
call
problem.
my daddy. He's going to be so excited. Coming up next, starting your weekend off right with our inspiring quote of the week. Stay tuned. You're watching The Morning Grind.
So what sets the Rundown apart from other newscasts is that it brings students together to voice their opinions on the world's most important political issues.
There seems to be just more events going on in 2012 than there were in previous years combined.
This nation is based on the foundation that we choose the government.
Do we use 1, 2, and 3? We work hard to bring you the most up-to-date, relevant coverage of the stories you should be following. The country has now gone over the fiscal cliff.
Is gun control necessary? How much is too much?
Does it surprise you that it's taken this long to have a serious talk about gun control? Students need to realize that this is the time when what's going on in Capitol Hill and around the world starts to affect them.
And really, the fate of the entire country is at hand here.
This is it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go camera 2.
Good evening and welcome to The Rundown. I'm Megan Roberts.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
TLP.
Welcome back to The Morning Grind. As always, we're kicking off your weekend with some inspiration.
The quote we have for you today is from my idol, my God, my inspiration, Oprah Winfrey. So the quote is, "Energy is the essence of life. Every day you decide how you're going to use it. By knowing what you want and what it takes to reach that goal, and by maintaining focus." She's beautiful.
I
She's
love
just
that.
the wisdom out of that woman.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and before we say goodbye, last night when I was practicing for our egg segment.
See, she just admitted that she cheated.
I did cheat because I got some practice in. But I've been doing this all my life. Haven't you been decorating eggs?
No.
Okay.
Not like people.
Aw, he got all smudged because he's been in my pocket the whole show.
But that's all right.
But that's okay.
James
So-
imperfect. He's not perfect.
So I made our producer, James.
Yay, James.
Look at him. He's so cute. Look at how detailed his hair is. I have to say, I
That
did
is
a really
pretty good. Can I just see
Yeah, and I made his little glasses, and I gave him like rosy cheeks and stuff. I had so
Rosie
much fun
James,
with this.
His glasses are on point. Is his eyes really blue? Can you ask him? James.
Yeah,
are your-
James, you have blue eyes,
you
right?
have blue eyes, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
he's all like,
okay.
yeah, my eyes are.
Yeah.
He says that he's gonna have to relook at his contract that you don't know what his what color his eyes are. I
I'm
did.
sorry, James.
I'll admit I stalked his Facebook a little
Well,
bit.
she
and I
didn't
was
know my
looking at
eye
him.
color either.
I'm sorry.
And it's like the same color with each other. But anyways, what are you doing for Easter weekend?
My family, my insane Italian family, is coming up this weekend. So yeah,
Yes.
hopefully bringing the puppies. What are you doing?
Unfortunately, I'm staying here. Well, I'm going home tonight to see my family, and then I'm coming back tomorrow, and I have to work all weekend.
Come hang out with the crazy Frisbees.
I am. I cannot wait to meet the Frisbees.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Chelsea Frisbee.
And I'm Kara Vormwald. Catch us here on WTOP 10 every Friday morning. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter.
Bye.
Have a
Happy
great
Easter.
weekend.